Okay, you're keeping track of who's raised your hand when? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. I am a constituent, and I have a question about economic security and women's health. There is a lot of research that shows that women who have access to safe and legal abortion have better economic outcomes. I would like to know where you stand on abortion access. You've supported legislation that supports requiring invasive transvaginal ultrasounds prior to receiving an abortion. You've also introduced the parental notification bill, and you've said that you wish legislature was more pro-life. In 1998, you stated that you do not support abortion rights for cases of rape and incest. So I'm curious to know if you still believe that's true.
Well, first of all, the only piece of legislation that I introduced or sponsored or signed on to was the parental notification. I didn't sign on to or agree with any other piece of legislation that were introduced. It was parental notification for a minor, someone who's 16 years of age or under, to have an abortion. A young woman, our society requires a parental notification just to get your ears pierced, let alone to have a surgical procedure called an abortion. So I introduced that piece of legislation with a judicial opt-out, that if the girl was found to be in an abusive situation, she could basically circumvent the requirement. So I consider that to be very reasonable, and I don't think it's, I think it's actually in the best interest of the young lady herself, as well as, you know, other issues are involved here. So do you disagree with that? Do you think
I do
13 and 14-year-olds ought to have the decision and not even their parents know about it, even in a good relationship?
I disagree that any person besides an individual would have the right to dictate what that person does with their body, especially at such a young age. How can you justify forcing a 13-year-old or 14-year-old to parent a child? Like, how do you say that that's better than, like, how do you determine which one is better? Like, do you think it makes sense to force a 13-year-old to raise a child, especially if they do not have the support?
That wasn't the question. The question was parental notification.
Right. My question actually was, do you still believe? I'm actually here to ask the senator a question, but thank you.
Yeah,
my question to you was where you stand on abortion access.
Now, specifically, what do you mean, limiting it, or what? What do you mean by abortion access? I want to be clear about this, so I understand.
That's absolutely fair. I just want to know what your thoughts are on abortion in terms of supporting women economically and all of the ramifications that come with abortion for women.
Well, I don't see abortion as something that necessarily supports women economically. It's certainly a surgical and it's a medical procedure, and it should be regulated like any other medical procedure. It should be done only in licensed facilities, legitimate facilities. And when it comes to minors having an abortion, I just think it's advisable to have a law that will encourage parental involvement in it. And I don't know what else to say. As a state senator, there's not much else I can do about it, is there?
You know, I'd just like to butt in and say abortion access.
Sorry, she was talking, and it would be unfair for her, you know, to have somebody else jump in. So,
are you okay with that?
No, that's fine.
I'm okay with
You're keeping track.
Okay. So I just like to say that
So you're okay
abortion.
with that? Okay.
She's okay with it. Yeah. So abortion is an economic issue. So there's a lot of research out there that shows that when women have access to safe and legal abortion and reproductive health care services across the board, that we do better economically. So that's why she's asking about abortion access, because it impacts us economically.
Well, you introduced reproductive services, which is beyond abortion. Are you talking about like contraceptive services?
Sure, abortion.
Like
Yeah, abortion care is one of many reproductive health services. So comprehensive reproductive health care is an economic issue for us. If we can't access that, including abortion, it impacts us economically, especially as young women.
The only thing I can do as a state senator is introduce legislation such as the parental notification. There's nothing I can do, no matter how I feel about abortion itself as an issue, because the Supreme Court has ruled over and over again that women have a right to have an abortion. So there's nothing from a practical point of view that I can do other than, I think, of the thing like parental notification. So I don't know what.
Well, as a budget issue.
It's not a budget issue.
I mean, access to reproductive health care is a budget issue. Medicaid payments, for example, for reproductive health services from abortion providers. These are budget issues.
Medicaid is a federal program, okay? And Medicaid basically forbids money to be used for abortion under the Hyde Amendment. So organizations like Planned Parenthood segregate the funds they get from Medicaid, and they don't use it for abortion purposes. So I'm not quite certain what you're, again, the only thing I can say is the state, I'm not running for king of Connecticut or king of the country. I can't just issue a proclamation about abortion one way or the other. It's a situation that's existed since 1973 now.
So I can clarify a little bit. So you've previously stated that Connecticut government funding should not be provided to clinics and medical facilities that provide abortion in general. So this includes
I never said that. What I did do, and where people get confused, is in 2011, when the governor introduced the budget that was going to be shared sacrifice, he hit the Connecticut hospitals for hundreds of millions of dollars, and he didn't do a nickel for Planned Parenthood. So I put an amendment, which I never called, but an amendment that would have cut some of the funding to Planned Parenthood at that point in time, because they didn't get a nickel worth of shared sacrifice. On the other hand, all the hospitals in the state are now paying over almost $500 million a year in the healthcare provider tax, which was what was initiated that year by Governor Malloy, and Planned Parenthood didn't suffer a nickel. So in my opinion, they were exempted from the shared sacrifice, and they should have participated in the shared sacrifice.
So at this point, do you
support that particular amendment?
So at this point,
I shouldn't say I introduced it. I filed the amendment. I never called it for a debate.
So at this point, do you support protecting Planned Parenthood funding and making sure that people can use Medicaid payments at reproductive health care providers,
well,
like Planned Parenthood?
Again, Medicaid is a federal law. I don't have anything to do with that. All I have to do is with state funding. And I think right now, I'm worried, you're worried about Planned Parenthood. The hospitals in Connecticut are under attack. The hospitals in Connecticut are teeter-tottering because of what Governor Malloy's done to them with hundreds of millions of dollars of this healthcare provider tax. And the hospitals in Connecticut are important to everybody's health, men, women, and children. That's what gets me upset, and that's what I think.
And reproductive health care services impact women and working families.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry.
Reproductive health care services impact women and working families, just as hospital providers do as well.
I'm not taking issue with that, though. I'm not saying, oh, let's not distribute contraceptives or anything like that.
So do you support that Medicaid payments should be able to be used at Planned Parenthood health centers?
But that's a federal issue. It's not my issue. I can't do anything about that. The federal law prohibits that.
But introducing
No.
legislation
The federal
like you have in Connecticut is saying something about your position. So you're kind of doing the subterfuge thing.
No, I'm just saying parental notification. I'm unequivocally feel that should be the case. And that's all I've said. So I'm sorry. I don't mean to. Let's get a few other questions.
I hope this is not about abortion.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well,
let's get tired of it.
Yeah. There's
We're never gonna agree on that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, all right.
Right
All right. Go ahead.
I don't think
I have a
so.
feeling this might be another one, but go ahead.
This is a simple yes or no. In 1998, you stated that you were opposed to providing abortion access in the case of rape or incest. Do you still hold that opinion?
Where did I say that?
In a candidate questionnaire.
I don't ever recall that, to be honest with you. I don't recall it.
Yes. Do you support abortion access for women in the case of rape or incest?
I have always supported regulation of the service because it's a medical service. And that's true of any operation that's done on a man, woman, or child. That's why. So let me go on to some of these sides of abortion, if I could. Okay. There's people here that are interested in far more than just
He asked you a
abortion.
yes or no question that you
No, I answered.
You didn't answer. You did not answer.
I answered it. That's
Can you
it.
please answer the question?
Yes or no?
I answered the question.
I didn't catch it.
Yes or no?
I didn't answer the question. I support regulation of the
That wasn't the
process.
question.
This
That's
is
not
a
the
medical
question.
procedure like any other.
That was
medical
not the
procedure.
question.
You just don't allow anybody willy-nilly to go out and perform medical procedures on men, women, and children without appropriate licensing and oversight. Go ahead.
Even the Guttmacher Institute, more women have died from legal abortion than illegal abortion. He's talking about
That's
medical
because there are
regulation.
many
Medical
more women that have
regulation,
legal
and
abortion.
I think that's a
Right.
reasonable, that's a
It's
reasonable.
very misleading to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, look, the big issues today are the budget and the CBAC.
So you're telling us we can't talk about what we want to
No,
talk about?
I
You're
agree
just
that.
did.
I've been talking about that. I haven't avoided it, but I said enough is enough. We've got to go into other things, okay?
Well, you did about finance.
Go ahead.
I like to know if they're gonna sneak in stuff about recreational marijuana or tolls and stuff.
Oh, good, you're gonna get some interesting stuff, okay. So, you wanna talk?
My I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm sorry, sir.
I'd like to hear this.
Need to have some kind of organization, so this man was X and then man we put on this, okay?
Okay, well, I didn't
Well,
mind.
then after, you'll be after her, is that
Well,
okay?
you know,
All right, go ahead.
I've known Len for a while, you know, I support him. I like the things he's done in the past, his first term, and, you know, what he stands for. And I find it a little ridiculous that every single time I go to a town hall thing, let's just talk about abortion. He has nothing to do with that, okay?
That's not true.
That's
No,
not
seriously,
true.
excuse me, I've been to 3 or 4 different ones in the last, you know, number of months. You know, Russell Library, Middlefield here, you know. But anyway, besides.
We have the right to talk about
Okay,
what's
no,
important
wait,
to us.
can I
As much
finish?
as you.
Do I have a right to make a statement? Excuse me, ma'am, do I have a right to finish my statement? Okay? And I find it funny because Len is, I remember his first term, the gas tax stuff, right? The early release of prisoners, having worked in a maximum security facility, you know, I have some feelings about that stuff, you know? That's why I'm walking with a cane today. But anyway, a person killed down the block from your house because, Frankie the Razor, whatever, you know? I guess you're a nice guy, you know, when you have a nickname like that. But anyway, why are we going off on all these tangents? Len has a certain scope of, you know, things that he can affect. And I've known him for, you know, a number of years, and I respect him. I'm sorry. Maybe I wandered or whatever, but, you know, why does it always have to
I don't
not
think this
evolve,
is
but
an issue of
devolve?
respect. This is an issue of, these are the laws that affect women in this state, and we have
Yeah,
an interest
I
in
know.
that. So that's why.
Well, you know
federal.
what?
Medicaid is
Actually,
Forget about Medicaid. We're talking
just
about.
one more second, okay? Not to sound, it might come off wrong or something, but I'm in my 60s, right? Okay? In 1973, when you know, abortion became legal, like 1972, 73, I was starting to get active, you know? And so it had a, you know, a different, you know, oh my God, my girlfriend could be pregnant, you know? It might affect whether I finish college, whether I go to law school, whether I do this, that, the other thing,
It
right?
might affect you.
No, and her too, obviously, and it would have affected us. I would never, you know, these people that don't support their children, man, I would have. Anyway, my grandchildren now, some of them have finished college, others are in good schools, you know. But, you know, I have a feeling about this stuff, and I don't want to sound like talking down, but you young women have not actually, yes, young women have not actually had this kind of, you know.
How do you know that?
Well, let's
I'm not going to argue, okay?
With one another.
Let
You
me
can do that
go.
afterwards if you want.
See, okay,
You know,
we can talk in
I
the
just want to
lobby.
say focus on public
Okay.
issues of today, okay? So this.
Lady, and then
lady,
you guys come
okay.
back here, okay?
Okay, so you were asking about tolls and marijuana, I think, recreational marijuana, right? Okay, let me talk about tolls first, because I'm on the transportation committee. And the proponents of tolls in Connecticut have pushed the idea of tolls based on a forecast that we're gonna have a negative cash flow situation in the special transportation fund in 2 years. And that forecast is predicated on an assumption that gas consumption is going down because more efficient cars, hybrid cars, electric cars, and change driving habits. But the reality is that gas consumption since 2013 has gone up almost 80